The Last of Us creators just dropped a massive hint about Joel's future, and it's not what you think. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Pedro Pascal might not be done with this franchise yet. Let's dive in. So this comes straight from the Season 2 finale press conference. Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, the co-creators, were directly asked about Joel flashbacks and whether we'd ever explore that mysterious 20-year gap between Sarah's death and meeting Ellie. Now, here's what's interesting. Instead of giving a hard no, they were surprisingly open about it. Druckmann literally said, "Never say never." And Mazin mentioned they love taking side trips, like that Indonesia episode we got. This was provided directly from the press conference, so we're getting this straight from the source. The timing of this question is perfect because Season 2 just wrapped, and we know Season 3 is focusing on Abby's story. But the creator's response tells us a lot more than what they're saying directly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Stick around because I'm about to show you the 3 key clues they dropped that nobody is talking about. Let's break down what Neil Druckmann actually said. He mentioned that it's always good to leave some things a mystery, but then immediately followed with, "Every once in a while, we tap into those mysteries when they're important for the story we're telling. I'm gonna be real with you. This sounds like someone leaving the door open. If they had no plans whatsoever, why not just say no?" Druckmann even referenced how they created that Joel's father storyline with Tony Dalton that nobody saw coming, saying, "You can't predict these things. Now tell me in the comments, do you think that sounds like a hard no?" Craig Mazin's response was even more telling. He acknowledged they went pretty far down the road, showing moments from Joel's dark period, but then said, Season 3 will have more flexibility, since they won't be dealing with Joel's death as the central traumatic event. Here's why that's important. Season 2 was laser-focused on the aftermath of Joel's death. Every flashback had to serve that specific narrative. But Season 3? That's Abby's story in Seattle, which means there's room for other storylines. But wait, there's something bigger here that most people are missing. Honestly, this makes a lot of sense from a business perspective too. Pedro Pascal is arguably the biggest star to come out of this show, and HBO knows it. The Last of Us is one of their flagship series, and Pascal's Joel is a huge part of that appeal. My assumption is that if they do bring Joel back, it won't be random fan service. It'll be strategic, maybe exploring how he and Tommy became the feared figures people talked about, or showing us more about his relationship with Tess. And here's my controversial take. I think they're already planning it. Now here's where things get really wild. Let me paint you 3 scenarios that could actually happen. The creators specifically mentioned people fearing Joel during those lost years. We got hints in Season 1 about him and Tommy being involved in some dark stuff, but we never saw it. If this is true, then it makes perfect sense that they'd want to explore this eventually, especially since it adds depth to Joel's character arc. But what if, and hear me out, what if Joel wasn't just a survivor? What if he was something worse? Here's what's interesting. Season 3 is focusing on Abby's perspective during the Seattle events. But what if they use that as an opportunity to show parallel timelines? We could see Abby's story in the present while cutting to Joel's past, showing how violence creates cycles that span generations. This would be genius storytelling, and it fits perfectly with the show's themes. Think about it. We know Tommy is going to be dealing with his own trauma moving forward. What better way to explore his character than showing us how he and Joel survived those early years? It would give us insight into both brothers and explain why Tommy eventually wanted out of that life. Which scenario do you think is most likely? Drop your thoughts below, because I'm curious to see what the community thinks. Here's my final prediction. The Last of Us creators are clearly not ruling out Joel's return. Whether it's flashbacks, dream sequences, or completely new storylines, Pedro Pascal's Joel still has stories to tell. Season 2 gave us beautiful closure for Joel and Ellie's relationship, but it also opened up questions about who Joel was before he became the man we knew. And honestly, this could be one of the best setups for exploring the moral complexity that makes The Last of Us so compelling. The fact that they're being coy about it instead of shutting it down completely tells me they're at least considering it. And with Season 3 having more narrative flexibility, the timing could be perfect. But here's what I want to know from you. If Joel comes back, do you want to see him as the man we knew and loved? Or do you want to see the monster he used to be? Because trust me, based on what we know, those might be two very different people. Drop your answer in the comments below. Hit that like button if this got you thinking about Joel's future. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because Season 3 news is going to start dropping soon and you don't want to miss it. What part of Joel's past do you most want to see explored? Let me know. I read every comment.